Your phone on the charge over here?
I just rock the Dylon.
Since we already hit. Okay.
I rhyme and I rip. I rip and I rhyme.
Hey,
Like
welcome back to another
Like-
episode of Unapologetically Black, Never Broken, Always Empowered. I am Brittany, joined by everybody, Jamal,
Everybody.
Rich, Brittany, Shay, if we're doing co-hosts, right? And, you know, Brittany's not a co-host, but she's here. Jesus, Lanita and Rod, the Williams, and Nia and Darius, the Days, essentially. So welcome, everyone. It's a full
what
house.
up? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, good. How's everybody week going? How's everyone feeling? What's up? We'll go clockwise, right?
We don't
So-
know.
We still alive.
My clock goes to Rich.
Dog, I'm glad to hear you still alive. That shit.
I say, when is your clock though? My week has been good so far. Just normal work. I'm back to days, so that's why I'm here tonight. How yours been?
I mean, mine has been. It's days.
True.
It's days.
Lanita, how are you?
I'm well.
Welcome. This your first time on podcast?
Yes.
Rod's been all up and through.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at R&B trivia episode. It's coming.
Oh. That was fun. I'm good. Work is work, and yep, that's it. I'm gonna try not to be awkward tonight. Next.
That's fine. It's cool. It's cool. Rod, how are you? How's your week been?
My week has been okay. I have the stomach of an 80-year-old, so I'm going through some stomach issues. Probably because I ate terribly over the weekend, but
What'd you have? Some beef?
some cheesecake, mac and cheese, baked beans, liquor,
Tequila.
lots of liquor, chicken.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have an iron stomach, so I'm okay. But
Your husband, on the other hand, we know.
He be slowing you down.
right, like just kidding.
So you ain't never had cookout. I remember when we came over there and when I was like, "You want to try my milkshake?" You're like, "Can I?" Yeah. But anyway, Mia, Darius, how have you guys been? How's your week been?
It's been a long week already. It's only Tuesday, but we're here.
Yeah, so I've been pretty much I got hit by a metro bus. So everybody like, you still here? But other than that, I'm blessed getting through the week. I'm enjoying being home because I work like 24/7.
Yeah.
Because as a couple, as parents, our jobs are not just working. We actually have jobs outside of after we come home. Sending to the kids, groceries, all that is work. So, and it has to be done. So, getting through the week, taking a day at a time.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Jay.
It's good to see that you're doing
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And texting at work, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. So, teamwork, compromises, understanding,
And hopefully I'm getting some rest because this motherfucker don't rest.
Facts. Facts.
I've
You got
been
48
resting.
more
I've been
hours.
Mm-hmm.
We expect at least 20 of them to be resting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Shays. How are y'all?
We are awesome. These motherfuckers ain't tell me it was gonna be couples on the stream, right? So I feel like I should be here.
We've been talking about this episode.
I just joined like a month ago. Y'all ain't tell me that it was gonna be anyway. Me and my invisible girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. We are good. My actual partner is upstairs, probably on her way to bed. But me and my invisible girlfriend for tonight. My invisible wife for tonight. We are great. We had a good week.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. I'm aggressive about that.
It was an aggressively good week.
This is a very good week.
Hit him with the aggressive kiss.
Yeah. Mwah, yeah. Mwah, all that, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I mean, this week's been good. We've been, like I said before, transitioning into a new schedule. So getting into a routine overall. I can't complain.
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. and brutal, but
it's brutal for him. But honestly, I get my workout out the way by 6. I mean, he's already at work.
The earlier, the better.
I wish I could wake up early and work out. I'm just not a morning person.
Yeah,
I
what's
go
up?
to bed at night and I stay up all night. Like,
I'm more of a 5 p.m. workout or not a 5 a.m.
5 a.m. makes me feel good. Then I don't feel like I have this looming workout all day. Like,
Right.
I still got to work out today. Like, I get to chill. So yeah, it's been good. No complaints. No complaints.
Yeah,
but
Darius look like they about to fall asleep right now.
Right now. We struggling. It's all good.
we should start with them, huh? What's to tell us before you fall asleep?
Right.
Oh no, I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci right now.
He say that until he starts snoring. He ain't good. We all good.
True. But yeah, today's episode is about marriage, kind of exploring the pros, the cons, the realities. Is it worth it? And is marriage a viable institution in 2023? I feel like that's something that you hear a lot of, millennials and Gen Alpha, whatever.
All the
Z,
names.
all the ones after us.
Yeah.
Talking about, like marriage isn't worth it, and I'm just gonna be single or date or a city girl, this, that, and the third. So that's where this episode is coming from a place of Black love during Black History Month, and yeah, exploring that question. So I'm gonna start off with like kind of a who you are, like how did you guys meet, when did you get married, introduction.
So we met back in like 2014, 2015, something like that, 2014. So I went to CNA school with his kid's mother, which is crazy. Known him since then. Like we weren't dating or nothing. It was kind of like, yo, like I know you, I see you, you follow me on Instagram. That's about it. And I want to say like maybe almost a year ago, like he started, you know how somebody just send you stuff and it's like, oh, hee ha ha, like leave it alone. Like that's cute. But it started being like more frequently. I was like, okay, that's cool. So I started responding. And then he sent me something a little racy. And I was like, that's odd. So he said, and I responded, but he sent me something else, and he was like, yo, like, do you know who I am? I was like, of course. Like, nigga, we've been texting back and forth. Like, of course. So he was like, yeah, I didn't want to be awkward, but like, can I take you out? I was like, yeah, I mean, like.
Yeah, I didn't want to be disrespectful.
But it wasn't disrespectful because one, I don't hang with his baby mother. That's number one.
Right.
And number two, it's kind of like, y'all ain't been together in years, so I'm not really in the way. So
right.
Yeah, so that's how it started. Like it was cool. Like we went out, he was a gentleman, and from there it was kind of like what it was. We got married in November. We had only been together like 5 months.
Yeah. When you sent me the wedding invitation, I was like, oh, true. We in that bitch. Like, okay, we'll find out more later. We'll meet him at the wedding.
Absolutely.
Walking through the door like, is that him?
Right. You gotta look at the pictures on the Instagram and be like,
right. Well, you've always been cryptic until everything was official. So I was like,
you know me, I don't post you until I until I know that it's really gonna be something.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. Absolutely. But yeah. So whoever wants to hop in. I feel like everyone knows her, but they don't.
Well, we can go last.
So we met 2014, Fort Lee. I went out there for the NCO course of food service. Brittany was just going through the schoolhouse for basic. We met there.
Look at this fraternization right here, though.
Hold on. Because we did not like each other at all. When I first met him, I never even spoke to him. I mean, it was her and some other people. I never spoke to him. It wasn't until 2015 when I got back, and then she ended up in Okinawa with me. And we were part of the same unit. And then we just so happened to start hanging around the same people when we go out to the club and stuff. And so we started dating in 2015. We got married in 2017. You know, she's been my best friend ever since, you know, rocking since 2015.
I started liking him.
But this nigga was rude.
I was not rude. Let's get this shit up. I was not rude.
I was minding my business, running. We got a little 9-mile run that we had to do, right?
Not a little
9-mile run.
Let's run 9 damn.
I'm minding my business. She runs up to me and says, "Hey, Sergeant, you can't motivate me from back here." I said, "Okay, bet. Let's go." So I take off. And I'm looking back like, "Where you at? You said I
Marine
can't."
Corps paid me for 3 miles.
She talked shit for no reason.
On mile 6. Ain't no point in me running. I'm back here with you.
I wasn't bothering nobody. I wasn't saying, "Come on, let's go." I was minding my business, prodding my ass along.
It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I needed some kind of entertainment.
That's
And
crazy.
he had already pissed me off because the MPOs were the ones that ran the barracks just about. He had us come out and stand for an hour straight, waiting on his little ass to do roll call and, you know, send us back to the back end.
You're
He
an
wouldn't
asshole.
do it.
I would like to point out, I did not have them waiting.
Yes, he did.
They had them
We were
waiting.
quiet for over 45 minutes.
You're an asshole. 'Ause I stand with the other side. I've been
I
there
don't want to be here
outside
all
for an
night.
hour
Make sure
waiting
you
at
niggas
formation.
back on time so that we can get this shit over with and go. I let everybody know that. They said, "Okay, son, we'll be back on time." It's time to go. I got to do roll call. They're not here. We still waiting on 4 other niggas to show up. So I said, "Come get me in an hour." When they get here, they got there like the next 3 minutes. I made them wait the entire hour.
There's several things you said throughout this conversation that made me happy that I did not join the Marines.
That's why I didn't like him at first.
Between the 9-mile run
I
and
couldn't
standing
stand
outside for an
him.
hour, Rich is an asshole. Like,
He was a pure. And
9
then on top
miles.
of that, if you start complaining, well, he would call it complaining. He'll do this to you as you're speaking.
My little tiny violin.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
That's a little tiny story.
right.
In that.
It's not surprising either. Like, honestly, like knowing both of y'all's personalities, like Nia and Rich, like the meeting of your spouse is not surprising. She's just like, "Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, we can chill. Like, I've seen you around." Versus like Rich, who's just the asshole that eventually grew on you. And I get it, Brett.
we all care about Rich.
You had that. Nah, man, Rich, we clicked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's because you're an
me too.
asshole. That's because you're an asshole.
Are you an asshole too?
Tell me how
Hey,
you
shut
really
up.
feel, Jamal.
It's kind of what me and Rich do. Me and Rich always argue because he's an asshole.
That's hilarious.
That's not why we argue.
It's because you're
That has
wrong.
nothing to do with me being an asshole. That's back to wrong.
You admit that you're an asshole.
All
Here
right,
we go.
Rod and Lanita. It's on you.
Yeah, so
I kept it real basic. You don't have to be awkward. How'd y'all meet?
They were about to
Great.
they rehearsed it
Well,
mentally.
yeah, we met in 2012. So she's a triplet.
God dang.
She has
Sorry.
an identical sister and
Identical triplets.
right. So a friend of mine, they were all in band. He went to Norfolk State. They went to Virginia State, and they would always have Battle of the Bands. So they knew each other from the Battle of the Bands that they used to do. And so this is after they graduated college and stuff. So we went to the Battle of the Bands just to watch. Me and my friend Lamar, who's been on the podcast before, he knew her twin sister Lisa, and he ran into her at the Battle of the Bands. And so he invited them to my house where he was spending the weekend. So he was like, "Come to my homeboy house. They got a pool and stuff like that. We can drink, eat, whatever, hang out." They did not come over that evening. They stood us up.
Oh yeah,
they stood us up that evening.
Flake.
Yeah,
That's another
so
thing. She flakes.
we ended up touching them the next day. It was actually the last day the pool, like the day before Memorial. I mean, Labor Day.
Labor Day. Mm-hmm.
Day before Labor Day, and the pool normally closes after Labor Day. So we invited them over.
And she was about to flake again, and I was like, "No, let's go over there. Let's go get drunk, get in the pool, just hang out." And we did.
Sounds like Lanita.
Came over. We all went to the same high school, but they were freshmen when I was senior, so I didn't really run into them. But they recognized me apparently. That's what she says.
I did.
They remember me. I'm like, I don't remember y'all at all. She's like, I know who you are. I'm like, sure.
I did. I've always known him. I just didn't know him.
Like, you lying.
And we hung out. We got in the pool. She flirted with me, and
Oh.
I did. I was a little too close to him. He was like, "This bitch."
Switch.
Right.
It was just a little too quick. I was like, hey.
I was like, oh, well then. But now, then a couple more shots later, then we were all right.
Yeah.
It usually helps.
It does.
We listened to music, hung out, and we've been
hanging out ever since. Then we got married in
2018.
Mm-hmm, November 10th, 2018.
Okay, Scorpio season.
Oh, and we have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We met in September.
That works. We're celebrating his
birthday. That's how that works.
I never heard of that one before.
16th, before our birthdays.
Because he invited me to your birthday party.
Yeah,
and I was like, when is your birthday?
When's your birthday? And I was like, the 16th. It was like, ours too. In the same
16th of September, you say, or what was it? September? Okay.
Yeah, our birthday is September 16th.
Because imagine like finding out not only your wife's birthday, but your wife's a triplet. So like,
brother. So now y'all all got the same birthday.
Y'all even celebrate your birthday in your house, Rod?
It's not my birthday anymore.
Rod gets a special mention.
It's not my birthday.
He does have a crown though.
The irony of you saying Rod gets a special mention, because remember when we went to the wine festival?
Yes.
We went up there and we came back and Rod's like, so it was just y'all's birthday? And I was like, oh. They announced it.
I remember that.
The worst part was it wasn't just you and Lisa who went up there. We all did. And we all did. It was Rod's birthday. Like, terrible. Right.
Let my boy out.
Well, the shades just disappeared, but it was their turn to introduce.
Nah, I'm here. It's just that my camera keep disconnected.
Your partner keeps like standing in front of it.
Yeah, we can say that. So me and my partner's name is Jamie, but like I said, she's upstairs, probably sleeping. But we met sort of through her mom. In 2018, I went through this like 9-month spiritual intensive program that her mom actually created and runs. And there was, at some point, she would always talk about her daughter, Jaja, or whatever. And I was like, you got a little gay daughter, huh? So at some point, Yami was on the land, and I was standing out there, and like I remember, like we crossed paths, and we're like staring at each other, but it was we say too much to each other. And then flash forward like 2 years later, it was 2019, I think. So right before the pandemic hit.
You are my journey.
Been there for 2 years.
Put down on my lower back.
Flash forward 2 years, we have an open house. So every year there's a new people come in. We invite new people to come in. We was having an open house, and I was there. I was at the height of my whole phase too. Like I was out here. I ain't even gonna hold you. I was. It was a beautiful time. And she doesn't normally associate or come to those types of things. Like she don't really like the program because of the wear that it has on her mom or whatever. So, but she was there and she brought her girlfriend, who she was with at the time, to the open house. And the whole time, like we sitting on opposite sides of the room, but we just can't stop. Every time I look at her, she's already looking at me. You know what I'm saying? Doing that little dumb dance. So, it was just weird because her girlfriend was right there. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, whatever. So, you know, after it was over, I went to go be a hoe. And I'm talking about directly. Like I was texting. So I had to be spiritual for a second and then go be my, you know what I'm saying? I found 2020, March, April, one of these 2020, I saw her on one of these dating apps. And I was like, yo, you remember who me? And she was like, yeah. And it wasn't even off neither one of us I wasn't off like, let's link, hook up, da-da-da-da. She apparently was entering her whole phase and was trying to smash. But we ended up linking up and like she cooked for me and stuff. And after that, it was a wrap after that. Like I came over and like we had this moment where we like stood in front of each other. It was very awkward, a big energy in the room. And I was like, oof. Actually, I'm gonna leave you alone. I tried, but it didn't work. So, and then almost 3 years later, she's upstairs and I'm right here.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Oh.
Who Bluetooth disconnected?
I don't know. So for Jamal and I, we met in 2018. I worked at a coffee shop / bar, like a Cuban coffee shop bar that was open until like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was no, it wasn't open that late. It was open until like 11. It was attached to a nightclub that was open till like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I get off work and then I go upstairs, get drunk, like go about my life. So this particular day, somebody got fired at my job. So my coworkers and I wanted to go somewhere and like go gossip where it was kind of quiet. So we went down the street to a nearby bar that had a rooftop patio area. We walked in and there was like 7 of us.
Whole fucking gang.
It was.
So before she finishes her part, I was doing security. I was in school. I was doing security. And like, I wanted to go home that night. I had left my shirt in the house. Like, I called my boss. I was like, yo, like, I just want to go. Like, I left my shirt at home.
It's not busy.
It's not busy. Like, let me be. You know, like, I seen the night. You know, ain't nothing happening on U Street. It's Friday night. And he's like, nah, this guy called out. Like, I need you. I don't even need you at our normal spot. I need you next door. So, like, I wound up not working at the club I normally work at. I work at the one, you know, that has the rooftop bar. So, lo and behold, I'm there. That bitch is small. It's like, what the fuck am I doing here? I don't know these people. I don't know what's happening. Like, people keep dropping drinks. I gotta walk out on the patio and shit. Like, I just want to go home.
Yeah. So then we decided to go there because it was a quiet place to go. And we get there and obviously the rooftop's upstairs. So we walk in, I'm like front of the row of everyone because that's the role I usually play with my friends. So I'm like in the front guiding everybody up there.
Happily stepping. Boof, 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 boof.
So I get up there and basically, yeah, Jamal's up there. He's top of the stairs. He's security, and I like.
Mad as fuck. Like, why am I here? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
and a bunch of drunk bitches coming in.
But for whatever reason, I was extremely friendly that night. And I put my arm around him, and I'm like, super friendly, right? Because I don't know this man at all. I put my arm around him, and I'm just like, what time do you get off tonight? Because I got a J in my purse. Like, what time you get off? Like, how's your night going? He's like, I'm having a tough night. And I was like, I got a J in my purse. Like, what time you get off? And he was like, I get off at 2 or 3 or whatever time. And in my head, it's like 11:30, 12. I probably won't make it. It is what it is. Like, I put it out there. So my friends and I, our coworkers, were all talking, having a good time. I go up to get a round of drinks, and like, come to find out, apparently they sent me up to get the round of drinks. But there's, like I said, a bunch of us. So I go over to him. I'm like, hey, can you help me carry this back? And he was like, only if you tell me your name. So Fun fact about me, I lose my voice very easily. So in drunken situations, in this particular summer, I was going out Thursday night, Friday night, I was attached to a club. So my voice didn't exist.
So fun fact about me, I was in a war zone. You don't have time in a war zone to be like, where the fuck are my earplugs? It's a war going on outside. They're shooting. There's bombs going on. He
can't hear. I couldn't talk. It's more.
Yeah, you don't hear shit.
So I said, Brittany.
I was trying to figure out where he was going with that.
Yeah, I said, Brittany.
I caught it. The smart people in the room caught it, I think.
So my name's Brittany like Spears. He heard Winnie like the bear, so he thought my name was Winnie, right? But I mean, he never he repeated it back. I thought he said the same thing. I was like, "Yep, that's my name." So
I asked her. She said,
"Yeah,
yeah." That.
Right. Which it's crazy because he left that interaction saying, I really like her. And my name would have been Winnie Winfield, which is just a lot. But that's neither here nor there.
I thought she was named after Winnie Mandela. Like, in my head, that made sense. And it's like, okay. Like, maybe her mama.
We have so many things to talk about. So we're going to get then we exchanged numbers. Whatever, we text all night. The next day, we went back to his bar. I almost got into a whole ass fight with this white girl that came up to us. Like, once again, coworkers, we're all Black or of
ethnicity.
An ethnicity that's not Caucasian. And we literally just sat down, and this white girl comes up to us. She's like, "Hey, y'all, it smells like weed. Y'all smoking?" And we're like, the fuck? Like, of all the people,
are you the cops?
Right.
Like,
no, officer.
Like her, our relationship. It was great. I think.
Club secret. We didn't hear a word. When y'all think y'all about to get into a fight, most club security guards don't see or hear anything. They just hanging out.
That's okay. So, anyways, we met on the 6th. We were dating by the 10th, and then a year later, September 30th, 2019, or September 5th, the 30th is Snuggles' birthday. So September 5th, 2019, we got married about 3.5 weeks before Snugs was born.
When did he find
still makes him legitimate.
When did he find out your name?
When did he what?
When did he find out your name?
Find out your name?
Yeah.
Oh, so the next day, we went back to the club, and there was a guy that worked there that wasn't there the night before.
Yeah,
that apparently
the nigga that I was replacing the night before. So apparently he knew and had a crush on her.
Yeah, like he went to the high school next door to mine from Michigan. Like, we're in DC. I didn't know who this nigga was.
He asked me, is her name Brittany? Is she from Southfield? Does she have a sister named Daniel? And I'm like,
he knew everything. And he came to me
Brittany?
With that same energy, and I did not recognize this man. Like, are you Brittany? And like he like, I was like, this is fucking creepy. Who are you? And he wouldn't tell me, but he told Jamal my name, and that's how he found out my name. So, yeah. Anywho, but that's
Real
how we met.
Were y'all actually smoking though? Were y'all actually smoking?
Yeah. Did we smoke afterwards?
No, the white girl said it smelled like weed.
No, we weren't. No, we weren't. That's why we about to fight that bitch. Like, what? Like, this feels like racial profiling. Like, we just sat down. I realized there were a lot of holes, but I also realized we've been talking for 30 minutes and I've not addressed a single question. That's why I was like,
at all. Hey, but they say that the way you react when you're telling the story of how you met says a lot about your current state of your relationship. So
that's real. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know how to dissect.
Like, if you still smiling and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't mean things are good, but it says something. It says something
positive. Yeah. And I 100,000% understand that, because he need his ass whooped after that.
That's hilarious.
So what's the question?
Okay. So I guess, my next question was, like, why did you choose to get married? Like, how did you know that was the right person? Because I think that's one question that people always ask, how do you know, like, as they're dating? So when did you know? How did you know? As you
know. How did you know?
So side note, so I'm Muslim. So in Islam, marriage is taken very seriously. It's not taken lightly. Me marrying my wife actually completes half of my deen. The other half is, prayer, the salat, charity, and the other things that come with being Muslim. So with that being said, once I got into Islam from the other side of my family and started studying that, it just lets you know that there's no such thing as boyfriend, girlfriend, because with them titles that is everything is negated. Like you could be in a relationship with a person 15, 10 years, and we, as I think in the black community, we seen this even probably with our parents, where you see people stay together this long and then the significant other can up and say, oh, I don't want to do this no more, and there's no repercussion with that. Like versus with marriage, it is. You have alimony, you have a time period of separation, you have to take accountability when you're married and stuff like that. So once I started, because my cousin was like her proctor, like asking her, he's Muslim.
But even prior to that,
yeah, no. So
right, but like, when did you know you even wanted to marry?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting to. So, like I say, like my cousin was her proctor. So once Nia was aligned with my goals, aligned with what I wanted, and being a Muslim man, it didn't take long. It probably took like the first month. I knew that okay, I want to marry her and stuff like that. Like she was taking what I was conveying to her seriously. She understood what I was conveying, and she was receptive to it. So it didn't take long. So like Islam, it don't take us long. If you have a foundation and you want to build upon that, then it shouldn't be, because like our motto is like tomorrow not promised. So if if you two as a couple are aligned spiritually, then because that's what comes first, the spiritual aspect, then you good to go. So that's why.
So I know when I knew, because he's gonna give you the long.
I feel like you were waiting to say this.
No, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
You gave a very practical and like
it was very beauty king.
Yeah, it was beautiful. He's gonna give you the long form here. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you the short form. I knew for certain. We went on a hike, and I like outdoor shit. And he took me on a hike, and like he planned it out and everything. And he was like, "I come get you, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna hike Great Falls," and it was dope. Like a full day of like scenery and like teamwork and shit. Like, because it was hard. It wasn't an easy thing. I mean, we chunky, so climbing mountains out here is a feat. So it was cool. Like we bonded and we had some good times, and we talked about stuff, and it was cool. So I was like, yeah, I think this may be it.
Nice.
So.
Sure. What about you, Rich?
Oh, I mean, I knew we were laying on the couch. It was probably about a month before I actually got married. I knew for sure, like, this is who I want to be with, because we had always been great friends. And like there was certain things, like I had previously gotten out of a really bad marriage that I just got into just because. And Brittany kind of showed me like this is what a relationship is actually supposed to be like, where you can sit, laugh, talk, even if you're mad at each other, you still can have conversations and and try to, talk things out, you know what I'm saying, and actually try a healthy way of doing shit. And that's how I knew, like I knew I was like, you know what, this is where I want to be, you know what I'm saying, because I've never had somebody that I can actually say I'm friends with, that I'm married to. So that's the short version.
Thank you, sir. I didn't know that.
Because you never.
I have, and you gave me some other shit. But okay. I knew the first time he and I kissed. We were in the back of a honcho, which is a taxi. I always told him that I would not kiss anybody. I would not kiss anybody that I really wasn't interested in. but it was like I couldn't get him out of my system. And that's what it felt like. It was like he was just there. No matter how much I was like, okay, fine. I don't want to talk to him anymore. I don't want to deal with him anymore. It was like no sooner I could say that, here he would come back into me. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't like this. Because just like him, I was coming out of a bad marriage as well. So I was like, felt like I had a wife other than a husband. And I was like, this is crazy. But when I got with him, it was like, oh, this is what a man is. Oh, and then once we got married, I was like, this is what a husband is.
Yeah.
Look at Rich all sitting up in the chair like this.
Big man. Put all that shit on my shoulders.
I got a bad back, so I can't sit still too long.
I ain't got no
Oh,
neck.
so it was just convenient.
All it was.
Rod and Lanita.
I know. I gotta go first because he's way better with his words than I am sometimes. So I was like, let me go first. I knew when, probably, when I fell in love. So, but even like, okay, I really love this. Remember that day? So, and that was funny because that was a random drunk.
You said it randomly out of nowhere. That's why it's so funny.
I was like, drunk.
You remember you said that?
Yes, I think we came from. I don't know where the hell we came from, but we were both through. So I was like, okay, good night, love you. So, but then probably more so after we like moved in together. So then I got to like, we just living together. I was really comfortable, and it just kind of made sense. And I was like, yeah, I could definitely do this forever. So, yeah. Good turn.
For me, I knew when. Well, number one, when she would finish like my like she would get my obscure like references to like cartoons or something like that. I think I was like it was a Family Guy quote, and I was like, grab that bacon grease and slather me up some homies. Where the white head said, like unprompted, like she knew exactly what scene I was doing. So I was like, oh yeah. And then the other one to be like mushy is like when I knew that I wanted to be like better. I wanted to be a better person for her. Like I was trying to, make sure I was in shape, make sure I was getting, working and educating myself like I was supposed to, and getting things in order so that I could be a better person for her. That's when
Yeah. I too will go first of the two of us. I knew because, like I said, I was going out like that was a regular occurrence. I was a drunken mess. It was like the last year or two of my 20s. I was living it up. And in that first week, on two separate occasions, at one point I was drunk and like fell asleep on the toilet at my house, and he like took care of me. Second time,
that's love.
Yeah, in that same week. The second time, he also fed me French fries while I sat in my shower and let the water run over me. Like I said, wow. And when he looked around after those occurrences, I was like, "This is it."
Way more like into her memory than mine. I remember it when she says it. I don't remember it from like.
Wow.
Yeah.
The day. Like, oh yeah, I did do that.
I was like, "Yep, this is it. This is it." I didn't scare you away. I was a mess. Like I was. Woof,
the one.
Mess.
That's cute.
So,
I have way more questions than I should have. After hearing that, I have so many questions.
From the meeting to this.
I ain't never had that. French fries with the water running down.
French fry in the
I
shower.
don't about any of that. I need
It's giving real Bobby and Whitney, but I love it. I love it for y'all.
She was a lot. One day she crawled to the bathroom. Like,
That was the day. That was what I'm saying. I fell asleep on the toilet. I fell asleep. I crawled and fell asleep.
Oh no!
You were in Mama's kitchen wilding.
Go ahead. You tell your part so we can go.
So for me, it was the weekend that I met my dad. That was a lot. So to the people who don't know, the day I met my dad was my grandma's wedding. So my grandmother was getting married. My dad had came into town for a family reunion, and he was like, I really want to see you, son. I'm in town. And I'm like, I don't know, dog. Like, what you want to talk? What you want to do? I'm 20, what was that, 27, 28?
You were like 26. Snuggles is crying. I'll keep talking.
So I was 20, I don't know. I was 27. Let's say 27 for the sake of argument or time. I was meeting my dad for the first time, and I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I was nervous, and she was like, we're going to get through this. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to roll you a J. I'm going to be there for you the whole time. You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. She doesn't know me. She doesn't have to do this. We don't have to be here on her couch. This could get explosive. Like, but she was there for me. She held my hand. She walked me through it. And she was there, and everybody loved her. Like, it was awkward as fuck. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. It was us sitting there watching Thor Ragnarok, just like awkwardly, because like he brought my brother too. So like I met my younger brother Dante. Like he's also been on the podcast, but that was the first time me and Dante met. And Dante was excited. Like he had been following me for so long, like watching my life through Instagram, and I didn't even know. And here she is, like sitting there smiling, acting like everything's fine. Like I didn't meet you like a month ago, and now here I am meeting my dad. And then the next day you meet my daughter. And like for the longest time, like I thought it was just gonna be me and Izzy. Like I'd resound myself to that. Like maybe this isn't working. Maybe it's me and like not the woman I'm picking. So if it's just gonna be me and Izzy, let's have a great life, kid. I can get you Disney, I can get you this, I can get you that. And then she met her, and then Izzy's offering. So for those who don't know Izzy, she's nice to Shay for whatever reason. But Izzy's
that's my best friend.
Like Izzy's an asshole. Like she doesn't talk to people.
Her head.
She doesn't like people. Like
definitely.
I didn't see this version of Izzy. I'm sorry.
Oh,
She's definitely assertive to be her age.
Like I've watched kids come into the house and like she take their toys, like brother's toys. You will not play with that. And like that's Izzy. But like when she met Brittany, she had this light in her eyes that she never did. Like she was sharing fruit snacks. She was offering to color. Izzy doesn't color. Do puzzles and like stuff to like keep her there and keep her entertained. And Brittany's like, I have to go to work, baby. Like I'll be back. Da, da, da. And then she went out of her way to like get her cake pops after that for her birthday. So she met her right before her birthday. Izzy fell in love, and Izzy said, I want you to marry her. And that's when I knew.
Oh, that's really sweet.
That's the sad.
That's sweet. Before I move on, Shay, did you want to throw in any?
I'm not. I'm not.
I know you're not. I know you're not technically married, but
I have a perspective to sort of share, but like not. I'm not technically married to Yami. She and I are not married. I have been married. And the moment I knew is when the VA, when the military was like, here's an extra check. But like the way that
the way they sip that tea though.
But the way that I view marriage, I guess, is not that like there is going to be some like I like what Darius was saying, and I understand it a lot because my background lends me to several different religions and spiritual practices and understandings of the dynamics between men and women or relationships or whatever, however one would say that. And from a spiritual perspective, marriage happens when you have sex with somebody. Like that is the union right there. So in a way, sure. And from things that me and her have done and know about each other, this ain't our first go around. We done been married plenty of times. But in this lifetime, we just got a lot of stuff that we got to figure out. And it's something that we're more seriously talking about though. And more, it's like from a perspective of like, we know we're going to deal with each other. We know we're going to be together. So does this more like logically work or logically follow versus emotionally or spiritually follow, etc. So, and I got trust issues. I ain't gonna hold you. That's why I ain't been like married outside of my outside of that situation when I was in the military, is because it's been plenty of times I felt like I could, you know what I'm saying, with different people that I've dated, but I can never pull the trigger because something about it is just like I don't trust you to be around to actually stick through this thing. So I commend y'all for knowing, because I'm always like, I don't know.
I feel that.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like if you don't know, so, but I say like, you know,
like we don't treat it as a choice. Like we here now. Like nigga, you ain't going nowhere.
Divorce
like
is
this it.
Facts.
This is the road. This is where it ends.
No.
yeah, and see, like this is the thing, like we don't know because we don't know what the future holds. But I say, you know, optimistically, like explore them options, like continue to grow into that, and like, but the beautiful thing is that you don't know, so it gives you opportunity every day to work on it, so it can be that. And stuff like that, because I think a lot of us are afraid of what society has labeled what marriage is, so that's why a lot of people go that route, because of what society has done to us through social media, and or we take experiences from our loved ones or other people and be like, oh, that's gonna be me too, and that's not the case. So what I say is like, yeah, continue to build with her, continue to have conversations like, what if we do this, what if we go through this and stuff like that, because me and Nia has done that and stuff like that. So it'll put you in a perspective like, you have to learn your significant other's point of view, and like put yourself in her shoes, and then she need to do the same, vice versa, like why you have these issues. And I say like marriage is a day-to-day basis where you work on being better, like my man said, like he wanted to be better for his wife. So if you wake up every day like, I want to be better for not only for myself, because when you work on yourself, you actually become better for your significant other. But when you doing something intrinsically for that, for your spouse, then I think that you continue to build on the building blocks of, making your marriage work through any obstacle. Because this is the thing, it's going to be obstacles. It's going to be things that, because this is the thing, we don't stay the same. Like who Nia is today, she's not going to be when she's 40, when she's 50 and stuff like that. So as a spouse, can I adapt to the change of my wife, which necessarily it will be better. Like long as I say, like I told her, like long as we change it for the betterment, then I don't have no issue with what you change, because it has to change, and we don't. I mean, we're not supposed to be the same. So I'm not supposed to be the same Darius that I am today, tomorrow, or the month and stuff like that. So yeah, so just continue to have them conversations with her and build. And I say do building blocks for you to gain that trust, where you won't have issues with with trusting and stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we to keep it honest, we started out like it started out great, but then we went through some stuff early on that we're still trying to figure out, which is why it took so long. But you brought up a great point that I always I always say, and also. You touched on it just now. You brought it up earlier in the conversation, and then you just touched on it. Is that relationships, marriage is work, and people do not relate to it that way. So with knowing how much of a full-time job being a wife, being a husband, being a parent, is how. What would y'all say? This is for everybody. Would you say marriage is worth it? And I'm gonna add to that in 2023, going into this timeline where people are less or being more frivolous about relationships.
It's worth it. It's more than worth it. The way I look at it is like this, right? So I know my husband and I know him, like we're still learning each other, but in the grand scheme of things, as opposed to learning somebody else or keep going through the same cycle of what you like, what's your favorite color? Like I'd rather come home to my husband hands down every day, knowing that we're gonna learn each other, we're gonna work through it. And everything, like it's a challenge. I think when you get married, you go through this thing of like, hey, we had the wedding and like we're gonna be great. And then that week after or a couple of weeks after hits you, and it's like, oh shit, nigga, we like
that highway off.
That highway off. And it's like we really married, and we got stuff to go through and conflicts to go through. And I'm not saying that like I love the shit out of my husband, but he definitely get on my nerves some days, and I know I get on his nerves. But it's one of those things like we're gonna work through it. We definitely gonna work through it. And it's like he's forced me to like think deeper, like with the things that I say and how I react about things. And it's like an everyday challenge. Like case in point, we went through a little something and we had like an argument, but he's one of them people like I'm a rah-rah type person. He's not. He's like the complete opposite. He not gonna do no arguing, no back talking. It was kind of like, my bad, I'll work on it. Like he wouldn't argue with me. He was just like, I'm like, damn, like no argument, no nothing. Like you gonna cut me off of the knees like that? Like I came into the room like fully ready
for a battle.
I was ready to battle. I was in my feelings all the way. And he was like, don't even worry about it, babe. We good. We gonna work on it. I'm like, work on it? Okay, all right.
So like to elaborate on that, I have learned from a young man to a more mature man that you have to give your spouse an opportunity to express themselves with understanding. And me being mellow with her and mellowed her out, because like I say, I always say when you go into an argument, both people ready to fight fire with fire. So her fire, I had a fire extinguisher. So can you really be mad when your spouse say, oh, okay, I recognize the issue you had with me, I apologize, and I'm gonna do better. Okay, what else do you need me to do so I can know further along? And then with me and Nia, we address issues right then and there. So any issue Nia has with me, she let me know right then and there. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, you brought that to my issue. Because this is the thing, when you let things bottle up inside you, or you making a checklist like, oh, this motherfucker did this day, or he did this day. So then you have a long drawn out argument like, oh, you remember last week when you did such and such, and then a month before such and such.
Right.
So
you've been holding on to it for a while.
So I said when we first, because like our way we got married, how fast everybody like, damn, how you get to know each other. So we had people outside, telling us, oh, you don't know him, you don't know her, y'all need more time, because that's what society traditionally tell you and stuff like that. Like I say, be a good person, I'm a good person. So we build on that. So with that being said, once you address them issues right then and there, okay, babe, because a closed mouth don't get fed. I can't read her mind, she can't read my mind. So my wife be like, hey, look, you did such and such, I need you to fix it. Oh yeah, I did do that. Okay, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna work on being better. It's not gonna happen overnight, but as long as she see me progressing and trying and stuff like that. And then another thing, don't concentrate on what your spouse don't do. So with Nia and myself, we concentrate on, damn, my baby do a lot. She recognized, she said, I appreciate everything you do, but if you could fix this area just a little bit more, it's good. Because like you said, like that 80-20 situation. But we looked at a video with Michelle Obama. You're not gonna always have 50-50. Sometimes she's gonna be 80, I'm gonna be 20. Sometimes I'm gonna be 75, she's gonna be 45. So we just gotta cover our bases. When your spouse is at that 45, then you take it as incumbent upon you to
to do the rest.
Yeah, to do the rest. So, like I said, like I give her an opportunity to be a woman, to express herself, and then whatever issue she has with me, I work on it and stuff like that, because it's work, it's constant work. And then we have kids, we have jobs, we have everything in between that we have to juggle and stuff like that. So like I say, any issue you have with your spouse, address it right then and there, but in a way that you're not angry. Because even with us, I let her go cool off, and guess what? Once she'll be rah, then she go cool off, and she say, "Baby, I apologize. Okay, this is what da." And
that's another thing. He forced me to apologize because yeah, that's something new.
Right, and then it's like
that's
another thing. So like I say, like we balance each other out. Like she the type, like we at a restaurant, she's like, "Oh yeah, we ain't paying for that shit." I'm like, "Oh, maybe." So like,
I'm definitely a lot more vocal when it comes down.
Right, yeah. So we find it, So like, for example, just having a date. I was tired. I cooked and stuff like that. I said, "Baby, go to sleep," and I left. I didn't do the kitchen very well and stuff like that. So she came and was like, "God damn it, you didn't see this, you didn't see that." I was like, "Damn." Well, and she's like, "I appreciate you cooking." So the thing I love about her, she recognized what I do and stuff like that. And I said, "Okay, well, next time I'm gonna make sure I push myself harder and make sure I got everything, because like you said, we still learning each other. I'm gonna do everything that you need me to do so I can do it. So next time we have that situation, she ain't gonna have to worry about crumbs and, oh, you didn't get this and get this, because I'm getting used to how she want things. She getting used to how. So I guess it don't matter to me how things is or how, but with her,
I'm a clean freak. Like if you miss crumbs or you don't clean the counter, I'm ready to spaz. Like, you ain't see this shit?
Right?
Did you not see the counter? Did you not see the spots on the stove?
So like even with the kids, they recognize, like, hold up, they not fighting, they not arguing. Like, she just fussed at him about crumbs and he not. So like so our example is teaching our kids what they should look for in a spouse as well. So definitely. So,
all right. So who gonna go next? Who up next?
I want to touch on more of, like, for me, the legal side of things, right? I believe she deserves everything that I have, asset-wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not being married, if we were just dating, she would not be legally entitled to any of that stuff unless I wrote it like in a will, right? But with me making her my wife, she's legally entitled to that stuff. I believe she's deserving of all of that. So that was another reason why I'm like, I'm going to marry her, because she deserves everything that happened, because she's seen me when I was broke, she's seen me when I made money, she's seen me before the business, after the business, all kinds of ways, and she has shown that she deserves and that she should be entitled to the things that I have, right? And that when I pass away, they not at a funeral fighting over, well, we get this, but nah, we want this, we left this person. You know what I'm saying? And instead of 20 people fighting over it, it's just her. And say, hey, I'll give y'all whatever I think y'all deserve. Or me and him already spoke, so this is what's gonna happen with everything. And
so you saying you believe it's worth it?
And I believe it's worth it. Just from a legal standpoint.
Legal perspective. Okay.
If you pass away and you don't have a will, most likely you don't, you should. And y'all been dating for 20 years, the girlfriend of 20 years now has to fight for the right to have your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And life and stuff that y'all built together, she has to fight for that. And if you got bad blood with family members or whoever, mama don't like you, sister don't like you, kids don't like you, kids are next up. So they're going to be the ones to take care of everything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I think from a legal standpoint, you should get married. It's just based off of that. But I'll let y'all have like the emotional side.
And what about y'all, Williams?
Yeah. So I definitely believe that marriage is worth it. For me personally, I am very I need a companion. Like I tried to be a hoe. I wasn't a good hoe. It wasn't fun.
I hear most men are not actually good at being hoes. They fake like they are, but
it's not fun. The streets. I never want to go out to the streets again. So I'm always my happiest when I am with someone. Like, so when I found the one that I was supposed to be with, who I'm sitting with, like, I'm like, this is it. This is everything that I could have like anticipated, wanted, viewed that it was. Even the good times, the bad times, like I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right.
Yeah. Same for me. I don't want to repeat what you just said, but that's so true. I didn't really date that much. I don't know. I really didn't. I'm like him. I wasn't really into that. I mean, I enjoyed, going through college and partying. I'm definitely a girl's girl. Like, I love hanging out with my friends. But I didn't date a whole lot, and I don't know. But I definitely knew I wanted the companionship, but I wasn't trying to. I didn't want to have to, be talking to this person and talking to that person at the same time, and that was just, it was too much for me. So
it's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Man, yeah, it is.
It's a lot of work. So yeah, I'm like him. I actually never really was interested in all of that. I was like, when I find the one and date them, I definitely want to just stay right there. I don't really care to, do all that.
That's what's up. I can smell the black love in the air.
Right. Go ahead, babe.
So I think for me, I'm a hopeless romantic. Like, a lot of people don't know that about us. Like,
we can tell it actually
off. I don't know why
it's in the air.
Right. Definitely know that.
Like, most people think like Brittany's the more like romantic of the two of us, but like, she ain't got no romance in her. I'm joking. Valentine's Day around the corner. I'm kidding.
I wouldn't say no. I feel like it was wasted, but continue.
So I'm a very caring and like, nurturing person because I was raised by a monster, but I was raised by a woman. So like, because I was raised by a woman, like, she taught me, compassion and like empathy from like a woman's standpoint and not from like a man's standpoint to like understand. So like, when I do get married, like, this is how you're supposed to treat a woman. This is what she wants. Like, this is what she would need. So like, I am very understanding to like what she needs, what she wants. Like, and I would say like marriage is worth it because like at the end of the day, you have somebody that like when you take pictures with, you don't look back like, damn, who was that person? Or like,
right. We ain't together no more.
This picture was very nice, but I wish it was with someone else.
Yeah,
wish it wasn't there. Or like, I wish I had someone to share this with. Like, I wish that the person that I was going to be with for the rest of my life was here on the beach to see this. Like, I wish I didn't have to explain this story 10 years from now to like the person I'm going to meet. Like, why do you have that scar? Because you weren't there. That's why I have the scar. Or like anything like that. Like, and it's just from a legal standpoint, like Rich said, I don't want to put down my mom as my emergency contact or keep putting down like my friend and saying like, emergency, this person can't come into the emergency room and make decisions for me. But she can. Legally, like, she did to say, listen, that ain't what he want.
Right. And that's the person you have those intimate conversations with, right? Like, you're not telling your mom, I want to be, cremated when I pass. Like, you're not having those conversations with other people. That's a conversation you're having with your spouse. So they have your best interest at heart, ideally.
At all times. Like, honestly, in a good, like, working marriage, your partner should have your back. 100%. You shouldn't have to worry. You shouldn't have to look back. There shouldn't be a trust issue. Like, I don't have to look back and be like, well, she ain't got my back, or I didn't got the bit. I ain't got to worry about none of that. If she say we going on vacation, she got my bag packed. She got the outfits ordered.
I do.
She got picked out. Like, she got my Crocs sitting at the front door. She got my like everything. Just, we have travel outfits.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about any of this. And that's the like joy of being married. It's not like, oh, well, my girlfriend got it. No, my wife has it. And I expect that my wife has it. I don't expect that my girlfriend's going to have my back. I expect my wife to have everything. I expect my wife to have my back. She expects me to take the trash out. She expects certain things out of me, and I live up to those. And it's worth it. Like, it's worth having someone, to me, because I'm one of those people who like I like my space, but I also like someone in my space. Like I like
Mm-hmm.
people to have an interaction with, to see things, to like show my shit off to. Like if I get some cool shit, it's like, yo, check this out. Like, look, babe, I got an accomplishment at work. Like, look at me. And like she's happy for me.
Yeah, I think, and to kind of piggyback off of that, when he's like, you know, my wife, there's respect to that in the streets, right? Like when you get on by somebody and you're like, you know, my husband or I'm married, like niggas actually back off. They do not do that before you actually throw the word husband,
girlfriend,
or right. They're just like, well, he ain't got shit up. So there's respect to it from just a societal standpoint. And then a few weeks ago, we were talking about security and different types of security. It's not always financial. There's security in being your wife. There's security in knowing that, like, this argument isn't going to be the end. It can't be the end because there's a lot of shit I have to go through for it to be the end. So we got to work through this. Like, we have to, you know, not go to bed angry. We have to have that type of communication. And in that type of like security, there's room to make mistakes, there's room to grow, there's room for all of that. James had asked a question about if we met our significant other when we were younger, do I think it would work? Absolutely fucking not. I didn't believe in monogamy before I met Jamal. Like
I still don't.
If I had met Brittany when I was in high school, we wouldn't have gotten married because the me then would have drove her away.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I was a serial cheater before I met Jamal. I literally did not think that monogamy was real. I didn't think that I could find someone whose energy just met mine to a point where like being still felt calm. Like for me, I always had to be on to the next, searching for the attention that I wanted or whatever it was. But I was also a serial relationship person. So I was never single for more than like 3 months.
Yeah, that was my issue. Never single.
I was never single. And I also I was cheating in hindsight. When I look at the men that I was talking to or messing with, all of the men I cheated on my significant others with, and you know, forgive me for anybody listening, they all look like him. Nobody I dated looked like him, but everybody I cheated on them with looked like him.
That she cheated on. I'm sorry, bro, but it wasn't me.
So I didn't believe it. It's just his energy. Like he met every single mark I needed him to make. To the point where I was like, nah, this nigga's too nice. Like this shit's weird. Like
definitely.
But it was genuine. It was real. And so, no, I do not think younger version of me would have been able to, like, absolutely not. I wouldn't have recognized it for what it was. I feel like child and meeting Jamal, I was like, I want my next relationship to be my last. And that's what it was.
I just feel like
this is it.
My bad. I just like, even just off the strength that like, we've done so much work since being fucking how you know, high school or younger or whenever younger is, because he didn't qualify that, but like high school, early 20s, you've done so much work from here to early 30s, mid 30s for me. Hell no. I feel like sometimes it's a struggle to keep it together now, and I've done so much. So absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and just speaking from like me knowing you, like it's been probably what 8-9 years since we've spoken. Yeah. And when we reconnected, it was like I'm excited to get to know who you are now. Yeah. Like I know you're not the same woman when we were in our early 20s.
I was, you know what I'm saying? There's some things that are the same. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously. I mean,
it's going to be something.
Change,
but you've grown exponentially.
I'm talking about my wholeness, but you know.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, I think it takes some maturity. I think people always come to Jamal and I and they're like, I love your relationship, or I want to be just like y'all. And it's like, you know,
just be cool.
Yeah, it hasn't. When people say, for us, when people say it's work, it hasn't felt like work. It has come pretty naturally. But when it's time to put in that work, we're both on the same page to get it done, though. So, yeah. I feel like this needs to be a part 2, right? But LeBron's supposed to break this record in like 15 minutes. Rich is
he's sitting up here like, when we getting off the stream? When?
Believe it or not,
I'm firing everybody. That's what...
even LeBron is gonna probably catch me falling asleep. I have to be working at 3:45. So even LeBron gonna catch these in a minute.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys can all hop back on at a later date. We will continue this conversation because there's so much more to talk about. Like we need to talk about in-laws. We need to talk about some of the downfalls of marriage, some of the heart.
Let me know.
Ugly.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the ugly later. But thank you guys so much for taking this time to kind of chat with us and open up about
so
everything.
Much black love. Like, we love it.
It's great. It's absolutely great.
Everybody's so happy. Shay and her invisible girlfriend. Look at her posting and shit.
Right?
Babe, you like that? Yeah, he was.
Anyway, make sure you guys, as always, like and subscribe to our Patreon. We have Shay and I have a new episode of Keeping It Real coming out this week. This first season of You drops on Thursday.
I cannot wait.
Go watch that pilot if you haven't. Get those views up. Run it up.
Yeah, watch the pilot, run it up, subscribe to Patreon, check us out. We'll be there giving you guys play-by-play analysis of everything going on. Anime Court should be rolling out with a new episode by the end of the week, more or less, about anime, whatever. Certain type of anime here. What's it called?
Not just supportive wife here.
No, it's not just insert type of anime.
No. What you guys were going to talk about?
So
Starts
we're going to talk
I?
about we're not going to talk about what.
No,
I tried.
We're going to talk about ecchi culture in anime. So
Ecchi, okay, E.
Yeah, ecchi culture.
I-E, whatever.
Oh, they know.
They're vowels.
The people that know, they know.
People listening know. The people that know anime know.
And you know. And if you want to subscribe and you want to hear us and our commentary on ecchi culture, the good, the bad, the in between, you know where to catch us.
Is ecchi culture a person or it's like literally a? No, you know what? Never mind.
You know where to catch us. You know where we're gonna be at, big dog.
So ecchi is a genre. Ecchi is a genre of anime, and it's about it's like almost pornography, essentially. Is what it is.
I don't know if that was a Rich in his Brit or a Rich in me.
Or Rich in me.
Maurice.
There's a lot of Britneys on the stream right now.
There are.
Also, now you claim to be a Britney. You get.
I always claim to be a Britney. You just can't call me it.
She only claims to be a
This
Britney.
is feeling very pronounish. Sorry.
Anywho, like, follow, and subscribe on all social media platforms. We will be back on Shit Talk Saturday, as well as our Patreon content in between. And until now, and next week we'll be talking about polyamory and
gang.
Polyamory and
polygamy.
Thank you. Sorry. And polygamy.
For my people.
I have been watching a lot of Sister Wives, y'all. So
that is not a good representation. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have questions.
You got white people questions.
There were 17 seasons, and I was like, I'm ready to dive into these people's lives.
And if you know anything about Brittany, her Discovery Plus are like this. But anywho, until next time, guys, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay unapologetically black. Have a good Rich's theme song. Let's go.
Night, y'all.